Hello, this is Whispering in Blue. Today I decided I was going to read you some of my favorite poetry by my favorite author of poetry, Anne Sexton. I will warn you that these poems are a little raw, so I'm going to read them in the most relaxing way possible, but not for the faint of heart. I will just say that. She's very honest in her poetry, and she's got a very beautiful, terrible way of putting things sometimes. So I hope you enjoy this, or I hope I put you to sleep. One of the two. So here we go. First poem, Admonitions to a Special Person by Anne Sexton. Watch out for power, for its avalanche can bury you. Snow, 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 smothering your mountain. Watch out for hate. It can open its mouth and you'll fling yourself out to eat off your leg, an instant leper. Watch out for friends, because when you betray them, as you will, they will bury their heads in the toilet and flush themselves away. Watch out for intellect, because it knows so much it knows nothing, and leaves you hanging upside down, mouthing knowledge as your heart falls out of your mouth. Watch out for games, the actor's part, the speech planned, known, given, for they will give you away, and you will stand like a naked little boy pissing on your own child bed. Watch out for love, unless it is true, and every part of you says yes, including the toes. It will wrap you up like a mummy, and your scream won't be heard, and none of your running will end. Love, be it man, be it woman, it must be a wave you want to glide in on. Give your body to it, give your laugh to it, give, when the gravelly sand takes you, your tears to the land. To love another is something like prayer and can't be planned. You just fall into its arms because your belief undoes your disbelief. Special person, if I were you, I'd pay no attention to admonitions from me, made somewhat out of your words and somewhat out of mine, a collaboration. I do not believe a word I have said, except some, except I think of you like a young tree, with pasted on leaves, and know you'll root, and the real green thing will come. Let go. Let go. Oh, special person, possible leaves. This typewriter likes you on the way to them, but wants to break crystal glasses in celebration for you. When the dark crust is thrown off, and you float all around like a happened balloon. The second poem is going to be Her Kind. And this was already read by Whiskey Whispers, but I wanted to give it a shot. I have gone out, a possessed witch, haunting the black air, braver at night, dreaming evil. I have done my hitch over the plain houses, light by light. Lonely thing, 12-fingered, out of mind. A woman like that is not a woman quite. I have been her kind. I have found the warm caves in the woods, filled them with skillets, carvings, shelves, closets, silks, innumerable goods, fixed the suppers for the worms and the elves, whining, rearranging the disaligned. A woman like that is misunderstood. I have been her kind. I have ridden in your cart, driver, waved my nude arms at the villages going by, learning the last bright roots, survivor, where your flames still bite my thigh, and my ribs crack where your wheels wind. A woman like that is not ashamed to die. I have been her kind. The next poem is titled All My Pretty Ones. Father, this year's jinx rides us apart, where you followed our mother to her cold slumber, a second shock boiling its stone to your heart, leaving me here to shuffle and disencumber you from the residence you could not afford, a gold key, your half of a woolen mill, 20 suits from Dunn's, an English Ford, the love and legal verbiage of another will, boxes of pictures of people I do not know. I touch their cardboard faces. They must go. But the eyes, as thick as wood in this album, hold me. I stop there, where a small boy waits in a ruffled dress for someone to come, for this soldier who holds his bugle like a toy, or for this velvet lady who cannot smile. Is this your father's father, this Commodore in a mailman's suit? My father, time meanwhile, has made it unimportant who you are looking for. I'll never know what these faces are all about. I'll lock them into their book and throw them out. This is the yellow scrapbook that you began the year I was born, as crackling now and wrinkly as tobacco leaves, clippings where Hoover outran the Democrats, wiggling his dry finger at me, and prohibition news where the Hindenburg went down, and recent years where you went flush on war. This year, solvent but sick, you meant to marry that pretty widow in a 1-month rush. But before you had that second chance, I cried on your fat shoulder. 3 days later you died. These are the snapshots of marriage, stopped in places, side by side, at the rail toward Nassau now, here, with the winner's cup at the speedboat races, here, in tails at the cotillion, you take a bow, here, by our kennel of dogs with the pink eyes, running like show-bred pigs in their chain-link pen, here, at the horse show where my sister wins a prize. Now I fold you down, my drunkard, my navigator, my first lost keeper, to love or look at later. I hold a 5-year diary that my mother kept for 3 years, telling all she does not say of your alcoholic tendency. You overslept, she writes. My God, Father, each Christmas day with your blood will I drink down your glass of wine. The diary of your hurly-burly years goes to my shelf to wait for my age to pass. Only in this hoarded span will love persevere. Whether you are pretty or not, I outlive you. Bend down my strange face to yours and forgive you. The last poem I'm going to read is called For My Lover Returning to His Wife, which I think is one of Anne Sexton's most beautiful poems. She is all there, She was melted carefully down for you and cast up from your childhood, cast up from your 100 favorite Aggies. She has always been there, my darling. She is, in fact, exquisite. Fireworks in the dull middle of February, and as real as a cast-iron pot. Let's face it, I've been momentary, a luxury, a bright red sloop in the harbor, my hair rising like smoke from the car window, little neck clams out of season. She is more than that. She is your have-to-have, has grown you your practical, your tropical growth. This is not an experiment. She is all harmony. She sees to oars and oarlocks for the dinghy, has placed wildflowers at the window at breakfast, sat by the potter's wheel at midday, set forth 3 children under the moon, 3 cherubs drawn by Michelangelo, done this with her legs spread out, in the terrible months in the chapel. If you glance up, the children are there, like delicate balloons resting on the ceiling. She has also carried each one down the hall after supper, their heads privately bent, 2 legs protesting, person to person, her face flushed with a song and their little sleep. I give you back your heart. I give you permission. For the fuse inside her, throbbing angrily in the dirt, for the bitch in her and the burying of her wound, for the burying of her small red wound alive, for the pale flickering flare under her ribs, for the drunken sailor who waits in her left pulse, for the mother's knee, for the stocking, for the garter belt, for the call, the curious call, when you will burrow in arms and breasts and tug at the orange ribbon in her hair and answer the call, the curious call. She is so naked and singular. She is the sum of yourself and your dream. Climb her like a monument, step after step. She is solid. As for me, I am a watercolor. I wash off.